Hey there, welcome to my channel and welcome back if you're returning. I'm Christy, I'm in Northern Alberta, and today in this video we're going to take a look at some of the stuff growing on the Hotchkiss Flower Farm and my homestead. So if you've been following me along, you know that I have been battling heat in my greenhouse and trying to save my ranunculus. So I put up some shade cloth and I did some ice baths on my soil, and I actually did get some really good stem length, and I did extend my season another 10 days until I just got tired of battling heat and such. So the stem lengths on my ranunculus that I've been selling to the florists have been really good, and I'm very happy with that. But look at how pretty this is. I think this one is the marshmallow variety. They're just gorgeous this year. I'm really happy with them. I also did get some stuff transplanted, and the daffodils have been coming up nice and strong. These ones I planted last fall, if you recall. I think it was October last year. I had a vlog on it. I had done some planting, and these are the fragrant mix, and some of them are more fragrant than others. I can't wait till next year till we get some really good stem length. I've been doing lots of harvest variety buckets like this and taking them to my florist. I actually have 2 florists that I've been selling to this year, and they've been really happy. The tulips have been they've been phenomenal, but they all bloomed at the same time. This is my last flush of ranunculus out of the greenhouse, or one of the last ones, and I do have some more successions going outside. But I had been taking to my florist in Valley View. She had just done a design for a bridal shower, and oh my goodness, Nikki Pepper, wow, she's amazing. This is one of her designs with my flowers. And so I did have all of my tulips bloom at the same time because of the heat. I was expecting to have weeks and weeks of tulips having successions, but that didn't happen. It all sort of happened at once. So I am trying to perennialize these and hope for the best. They do perennialize well in our zone. But I've been taking a ton of tulips and other flowers to the nest in Manning, which is my other florist, that my primary florist that I grow for. And some of her designs have been just beautiful, and just loving the work she's pumping out. It's very bizarre to me that we've been getting Lysianthus and ranunculus in the same week. Like, what? The Roseanne Brown is going for it, and so I'm really happy with that. Chaz has been helping on the farm a little bit. He's been playing a lot of baseball, so he has to help out, so I have time to take him. And he's been helping with mulching and doing some weed whacking and spending a couple hours a week helping on the farm, which helps me out tremendously. He has the hydrangeas looking really nice. That's kind of been his project to do to keep the weed pressure off of them with mulching. And they look really good, and they're staying nice and hydrated since I'm not around to water them very much through this heat. So he is learning about pulling quackgrass out so that we can get rid of these weeds and take out any weed pressure. But that's basically the routine around here: is weed, water, sleep, and travel. So it's been very busy on the farm, keeping up so that we can get on the road again for his next ball game or ball tournament. I'm going to try planting potatoes on hay and inside hay. I'm having some issues with some pathogens in our soil that affect the potatoes. And this is like where we had fork fed our horses all winter. There's no animals coming here other than the chickens. There's some quackgrass that's coming up. But I'm going to try to create rows of potatoes in here and see what happens. I was able to pick up 2 bags of potatoes for $1 each. They were on sale, so it's a $2 experiment, just a little time, and we'll see what happens, because I have no space in my garden left to put potatoes that I haven't planted recently, and so I have an abundance of old hay that I'd like to use up. So that's what I'm going to do. So basically, on top of this hay, I just put some worm castings down in a line, and I'm just going to plop cut and plop some potatoes down, and then I'm just going to heap over top of it with more hay. So this first row along the fence is going to be Norland red, and I'm going to cut them. They were kind of really squishy, some of the bags were, but this one I was able to find a pretty decent one. I didn't have a lot of rotten ones, so we'll give it a shot. I'm just going to cut it in half. Some of them, if they have lots of eyes, I might actually cut it into 3. So I cut them in 3. This one. I'm just going to lay them right on top. I have some with worm castings, and I'm going to just do some just on hay and add no amendments whatsoever. And this variety is a white Kennebec, I think is how you say it. I don't think I've ever grown this variety before, but it was the best one, that like best storage looking one. Ew. I don't know if I want to plant it, but again, it's an experiment, and it's away from my main garden. My main garden's over there, so Chaz is mulching. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a little short row here. It's hard to see. He's kind of got them all piled in one, but once they come up, we'll be able to walk in between the rows and kind of distinguish which one as we mulch them up with more hay. So we'll see how it goes. They're so pretty. So since my big flush of flowers didn't come into season during the Mother's Day week for design, it come in just a couple days late. I missed that opportunity to sell all of my flowers to florists for Mother's Day designs, or even offer them. So I have an abundance of stems that I can't really sell because there's not a market for it. So I decided to harvest as much as I can and put on a bouquet bar, our very first bouquet bar on the farm, and I did. So I'm going to share some clips about that. But I was able to move quite a bit of stems that were harvested that I couldn't sell, that there wasn't a market for, and take advantage of some of these beautiful blooms. Like these ranunculus were absolutely stunning. Blue Admirable, I think is how it's said. Oh lordy, they're so gorgeous. I just harvested them for our bouquet bar. In love with them. They will go right here. For now, these Cranberry Kiss ones, they actually have a scent of cranberry. It's been blowing my mind all day, but I'm just picking away, harvesting some stuff. It's not organized. I'm just throwing it here as I go, but I'll show you what it looks like when I have it all set up. So for my bouquet bar, I sold jars. I sold a small jar was $15, a medium-sized jar was $20, and a pickle jar, a large-sized jar was $25. And we sold quite a few. I had some beautiful ladies come and make beautiful bouquets. Oh my goodness, they did so good. And I'm really glad I decided to do this. Even though it was last minute, I still had a pretty good turnout. So this back here, this mess, is my weedy mess. This is the garden of shame back here. I just have not been able to keep up with the weeds back here because it's out of sight. I keep forgetting them. This is ranunculus. The weeds were actually doing me a favor because I didn't have my shade cloth in yet for these specific garden beds. And so I left the weeds to get tall to kind of shadow and keep my ranunculus cool until my shade cloth arrived. You know your ranunculus are going dormant, so they're yellowing. That's one reason or way you can tell. But another way that you can tell it when they are stressed from the heat or moisture, usually it's to do with the heat, this starts happening. So this is a sure tell sign that this is in distress and the corm is going dormant. Too hot, way too hot. And see, it happens at all stages. This guy just broke off, so I'm letting them go. There's some salvageable ones in here I'm still gonna cut, but these are all going dormant, and I will let them die back, dig the corms, and then store them until I'm ready to plant them again this fall. I kind of wanted to give you a quick garden tour. I'm gonna be gone away for a few days, so I don't know what it'll look like when I get back because we have some extreme heat going on. But I just wanted to document this stuff now because these are the fall planted lilies I had in crates, and I put them in here last fall. And there wasn't really a lot of protection, so they are starting to bloom now. We're in the first, or we're just rolled into the second week of June, sorry. These pansies and violas are starting to really do well now. They're getting some stem length, and I still have some flowering kale. They look really nice. I haven't had a lot of bug pressure on them, and I still need to plant. I think I'm gonna sow in some zinnia seeds here, so as the kale is gone, the zinnias will grow up for my summer crop. This is the Sorrent. We used this in, I had a bouquet bar here on the weekend, and we used some of it, and I sent some to my florist to trial. I haven't sold any to the florist yet. I just sent her some to trial it to see how she likes it. But you definitely do have to shock treat it by putting it in boiling water once you cut it. And then it stands up. It gets really nicely hydrated, and it does really well. My snapdragons have been blooming. They're really full, like they're bushing in. They flopped over and they're just shooting up lots of different like flowers or blooms. But I should have staked them. They're doing all right. There's a large variety. I have some stock back there that I've harvested already. The everyday stock that I had from Baker Creek. And then bunny tails, I've been harvesting them like crazy. So we go through a lot of them. I have some Queen Anne's lace that kind of I interplanted with some of my snapdragons. And this here is, oh my goodness, Rudbeckia. And it's looking like it's starting to want to push some buds. So I'm really excited to have those. I have to weed in there, it's so weedy. Look at this. This is the fall planted yarrow, and it's starting to get some color. But also look, I'm just, oh, I wish I could bring my chickens in here. The chickens have been doing a stand-up job, but the yarrow is an attractant for these grasshoppers, which concerns me because snapdragons are susceptible to Astor's yellows and Astor's yellows and mosaic. And Astor's yellows and mosaic is actually carried and transported as a disease with grasshoppers. So I'm really hoping not to lose those. They don't seem to be doing a lot of damage. They seem to be sleeping. Look, there's a big spider and a grasshopper. What a frame that is. Ugh. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna try to get rid of some of them guys by squishing them. I did a big harvest. This was massive. Like, this was a wall of Queen Anne's lace here, and I just did a big harvest for our bouquet bar, and then I also did a big harvest to take into the nest, which is one of my local florists here in Manning. And she goes through tons of this stuff. This stuff is great for florists because lots of times they can't ship it in because it squishes in shipments. So it looks really good when they can get it farm fresh, which they prefer. And I have one sole, I've already harvested off of this plant, but it is a larkspur, a smoky eyes larkspur, and it really likes it in here. So I do need to water. It's so dry over here. I'm scared to water this because it flattens everything out since I don't have it staked, which is my bad. This is budding up. They look awful. These are my I just gotta see, I need to stake these up. But these are Lysianthus. These are the blue something, I can't remember. They're a dwarf variety, but I didn't think they were that dwarf. And they are, and I'm not really happy with them. And these guys are budding up as well, Lysianthus. This is supposed to be Roseanne Brown, but I'm not seeing any color changing yet. That looks pretty green still, so I'm hoping when I come back that they'll start, the buds will start to color and I can start harvesting. I have a bunch of volunteer tomatoes in here because, and I also planted some of my extra snapdragons in here. Whenever I had lost some to fusarium, I planted it with snapdragons, and so I have like a multi-sown crop always going and nothing, so I mean weeds will grow in its place. And so far it's been doing great. The snapdragons are happy with that, but I didn't lose as many of the Lysianthus as I thought, so I've kind of overcrowded them. So, and I probably should have not let these tomatoes go volunteer here, but it is what it is. I gotta grow food too. It's part of homesteading. So yeah, these guys, they're budding as well. I don't remember what color this one is, but it's, I mean, I had Lysianthus and ranunculus at the same time. Isn't that insane? Like, this weather is just really weird. I weeded this and then I watered it, and then it came back with crazy amount of, oh, I found a frog. Where are you? Whoop. I have lots of frogs living in here, which is good. So, and I think this needs to go. Break it off right now. Maybe I'll pull it. Look, I pulled a Lizzie with it. But these guys are really flushing in. I don't see many buds on them, so I'm hoping they'll be my later succession. I think they're like a rose color. I had a similar color last year. The billy balls, they're starting to bud up. My ranunculus has definitely died back here as well. All of this, I just kind of let it go. And I let these volunteer sunflowers go, and then I planted some sunflowers in here, while this here, right here, is all planted with daffodils. So I want those to perennialize, and then I'm probably going to plant zinnias or food. I haven't decided. I'm kind of thinking, because I have the shade cloth, that I would like to plant brassicas down the center so that I have some food for our family, but growing through the summer, since, you know, with the shade cloth. But I also know that we're gonna have some very high temperatures, and I'm thinking maybe I might go with something like a cut flower instead. These guys are doing really well. This is Nigella. So it's starting to bud up. The stalk is doing really, really good here. It's got some great stem length. This variety of stalk, it just keeps growing. You cut it and it comes back, or you let it grow and grow, and you can just take off the lower blooms because it just keeps filling in, and it's just going crazy. That stuff over there as well. I do need to weed this, but what was happening is these ones on the outside were getting baked by the sun, so I left these weeds here as like a break, and it actually really helped. So I kind of did it as an experiment to see if it was going to make a difference before I planted something in there. So I might put sunflowers there when I get back and just pull all these out. For now they're going to stay because I don't have time to deal with that. Not right now anyways. And so these guys are going for it. This is also yarrow. And then we have volunteer tomatoes everywhere. And of course we have more Lysianthus here growing. So this is the Queen Anne's lace, and it really filled in, like really filled in. And we have bells of Ireland as well. So they're starting to get little bells on them, which is so cute. This one's got lots of bells. They're super cute. So I'm hoping they get some height, and they should do well. I need to water in here really bad. I thought I did, but I didn't. Obviously, it's dry. But yeah, these are Dara. They're starting to come into color and become ready to bloom. So I'm really excited for that. My florist will be super happy. This is verbena. It's not really, it's just putting on growth right now. It's not doing much else. I'm sure it's gonna start exploding here soon. This can go. This is annoying. That's one big weed. Okay. So yeah, these were all ranunculus here and they're all going dormant. Yeah, see this right here is what it looked like on the edge. And as you can see, it perked up after I let the weeds grow up and shade it. But this spot here, it was still getting hit really hard from the sun. And so that's what that looked like. So that's why I kind of wanted to do an experiment to let the weeds grow in, and it worked. So, but look at the stem length on these. Like, they just grew so much. It's wild. And I need to stake these. I watered in here heavily, and this is scabiosa, and it just fell over from the watering. I need to stake it. I have tarnished plant bugs. These are third and fourth succession of sunflowers, and I see I have some blooming, but I didn't realize we're blooming. Well, that's kind of crappy. These actually come off of one that I had cut. So this one, size shoots. Look at that. I didn't realize it was gonna do that. I left the roots and I cut it. Huh, that's weird. Well, this frosted explosion grass is super popular. I harvested a bunch of this for our bouquet bar and it was super popular. My guests really liked it in their arrangements. This here was also very popular. I didn't have a lot to offer. This is the cherry, oh goodness, cherry caramel phlox. It's an annual phlox. The colors of them are beautiful and they just open so beautifully. They were really popular. My carnations are starting to bud, and my dianthus over here is actually pushing a bloom, so that's really exciting. I have several of them. I have lots of weeds in here. This was the one section right in here, and that back side of the garlic I did not get weeded this week. And look at how fast it grows. Like there compared to all of that, like it's so insane how fast the weeds grow in here. It's like in the day it can grow like 2 feet. It's crazy. So these guys, I need to actually cut them back so they push up another flush, but these are the Godacia or the Clarkia. They are really beautiful and they have such a great vase life, but I won't have time to deal with that today. The Tweedia isn't doing much. I'm actually considering pulling it out and putting something more productive there. And I do have my baby's breath interplanted with garlic. It's annual baby's breath because it is illegal to grow perennial baby's breath here in Alberta, so I can't grow it. But this is annual baby's breath and it's interplanted with garlic. My garlic is doing great. It's huge. It's massive. This was fall planted in October. I do have, oh, I gotta show you these guys. The marigolds. These I took to the florist. She was in love with them. She's like, what kind of carnations are these? She was so happy with them. Those are the white swans and marigolds, and I have them planted outside as well. These are just kind of a trial in here, and they actually did really good. So this is status, and it's starting to bud up and bloom, and it's doing nice. I have some yellow and some white. And then we have bachelor buttons are going for it, so I'm using these as cut flowers, and any that aren't going to be used as cut flowers, I'm going to dry them. And then over here we have the flower. Oh, there is some Lizzies in there, but they're not really doing much. They're just hanging out. I do have flowering kale. It's been around 4 degrees Celsius every night, and I keep the air conditioner going at the doorway overnight, so it gets really cold to get this color back. All of the plants in here are cool season plants except for the tomatoes. and the marigolds basically. And so I want these to color up to send my florists so they don't lose, because otherwise they just turn green, and I don't want them to be green. I want them to be flowering kale. So, but they're looking okay so far. I have a little bit of pest damage on some of them, but I was expecting it to be much worse. I've really heavily harvested these snapdragons, and they're not really growing back as fast as I thought they would, but they are very pretty. And I'm sure we'll have another succession of these coming up very soon. So, yeah. And then, yeah, we won't talk about that over there. Just forget it. I'm gonna mosey on over this direction. My sweet peas are doing good. I've been harvesting. They're fizzling out now, but that's what it looks like in here. My tulips are pretty much done now. I'm going to try to perennialize these to kind of recoup some of the cost here. I do know that our tulips do perennialize fairly well. I am going to harvest some of these still that are, you know, holding up, but mostly the double ones that are coming up still, I'm harvesting them to dry them in silica gel, because they actually work very well for natural bows, like to super glue them onto wrapping paper for Christmas time. They do look really beautiful. But these ones, I really like them. I don't know if I have them on order for next year, but I really wish I would have. I'm hoping these come back really strong, so I'm not fussing with these. I really, really liked these spring green tulips, and they were a very big hit actually, but at my bouquet bar. So it looks really awful. What I am planning to do here today, I don't know when or if I'm gonna have time to share with you, but I'm going to put some squash seeds in here, and as these die back then look ugly, I'm hoping that the squash seeds will germinate and come up and create a nice clean garden space. It's not really weedy. I do actually weed for about 4 hours, like F-O-U-R, not four, like F-O-R, F-O-U-R, 4 actual hours a day. Usually I weed in my garden. This has been really easy because it's basically kind of converted into a no-till system, and there's a lot of mulch. I have lost a lot of mulch. It just disappears, especially leaf mulch. It really just disappears. So yeah, that's what's going on here. I don't have this planted yet. This stuff is dahlias or dahlias. However, the dahlia pronunciation police are probably around here somewhere. So, but anyway, these I put these in a while ago. It was before it stopped freezing at night. I was kind of unsure about them, and I put them in before our last frost date because they are pretty hardy to cool temps, and it doesn't freeze hard underground, so they can actually handle the temperatures dipping to those close to freezing temps at night, or even freeze like frost temps, as long as they don't come up. And I did put them in the ground, so they actually kind of think they were overwintered, I think, and they're coming in really strong. I don't have any bug pressure on these really yet, so fingers crossed that they don't get taken out. Here is some more honeywort, and then this is all blue plurum over here, and it is gorgeous. I had much more started, but I had some issues with it, so I'm hoping to get another succession going. I really liked the blue plurum, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough to go for another fall succession, because I would ideally have liked this whole bed have been blue plurum, and I had started enough to do that, but I killed a whole bunch of them with my neglect. So right here we have, oh wow, is that budding or is it starting to push up? Anyway, this is sedum, and I put the sedum here because I have my narcissus, how does Serena say it? Narcissus is how Serena says that you can't eat the grass, I think. Daffodils. I have perennial daffodils on the back side of this little retaining wall, and so when those die back and get ugly, I wanted something big, and sedum is big and beautiful, and I really like the look of it. So when those are dying back, then we'll just have this wall of sedum here. My beautiful rhubarb has come back, and I've been actually using it. I made rhubarb crisp with strawberries and apples the other day, and Chaz really enjoyed that. Oh, they're so pretty. I haven't been selling lots because I have lots and lots of daffodils, but just my florist took a few days off because of a family passing, and I haven't really been able to move much of my stems. Look at the bumblebee. Hello, bee. Are you stuck? Over here we have some of the, I put some stuff that I'm going to be planting into the greenhouse this fall. So these are actually all lilies here, and this is calla lily on this side, so I will dig and store those. But I also put lilies as my next succession of lilies in here. So in the fall I will dig this trough, all these things out of this trough, and I will be putting them in the ground in the greenhouse to overwinter. And that includes, I'm going to try to do that with this. This here is some of my eucalyptus that I started from seed. I might actually dig it out of here because I don't like it in the netting. We'll see. Over here I have yarrow. I also killed a bunch of my yarrow, but this is what's left from my neglect. And my peppers, I put them out. We've been getting 4 degrees Celsius nights, and they're pushing pepper. They have peppers growing, so they look okay. They look better than they did in the trays inside, so we'll see how much I get. I live in a very harsh cold climate, so we'll see if they can tolerate it this year or not, because we've been getting really high temps. Today is 30 degrees, so it's smoky and breezy, but it's still gonna peak at 30 degrees today and then dip down to 4 degrees Celsius at night. So it's bizarre. Look at this lupin. Oh gosh, this made me want to cry because this whole section was perennialized lupin, and I had pinks and I had gradients and I had whites and I had blues. I had every single color that a girl could want perennialized, and they were doing so good. And those stupid chickens got in here, but in their defense, there was a ginormous anthill and they went after it, and so I had to forfeit my beautiful perennial patch, but the anthills were gonna take out my plants anyways, so at least the chickens are happy. And this is a peony. I should probably debud it, but I'm gonna leave it because I'm not gonna be a peony farm. I'm just going to enjoy looking at it. I think these are the, oh gosh, I can't even remember what color they are. I think they're red. Well, let's go take a look. I wish I would have done this tour a couple of days ago, or like on the weekend when we had this looking so weed free. I weeded everything. Chad cut the grass. We organized. It looks so good. And then all of a sudden, but Chaz and I tackled this project. If you recall, last time I did a video, I said I'm going to put mulch down here, and I had some installed mushroom spores in here, and I did that. I did what I said I was going to do. This looks weedy because I haven't been keeping up on it the last few days. Like I said, I usually weed 4 times a day every day, and actually I haven't weeded this since Saturday or Sunday, a week, like last week. So it's doing okay, considering. But the astilbe has come back very nicely. I do have cardboard and mulch. I'm gonna remulch some more of this as well since it's settled out, and I'm probably gonna come in here with some hay and lay hay down. But I think it's happy. It really fleshed in since we mulched it, and it's looking good. I see you have some quack grass in there, but I did over here notice we have some budding. Some are smaller. So what happened this past winter is I had to shovel all the snow off of the roof and then shovel it away. So I was walking along here, and so with perennials in our area, we get so much snow load that the ground doesn't freeze very hard underneath. But because we were walking on it, it drove the frost into the ground, and I was so worried I was going to lose all of my astilbe. But I did. I lost those ones there. And there's I guess it's just this section here. From here to here, I lost this section, but this is the place where I had the most issues with drifting. So I had to do the most shoveling, and there was a lot of walking out. So just my foot traffic probably is what took these guys out. They might come back still. I'm not sure. I'm just going to leave nothing there to see if they wanted to come back. It just take a while. But over here is the... this is Godacia it's a line flower that we're using. I had some in the house or in the greenhouse, but this stuff is a different color. I have like a bunch of multicolored stuff, so I have a lot of it, and I need a lot of it as a filler because it works both as like a filler flower but also a greenery. So it's a really important thing on my farm to grow this, and I need to grow a lot of it with multicolors. So I have whites for weddings, and then I have more of the gem tones for more of the birthday celebrations and anniversaries, and then I have some of the pastel-y colors for baby stuff and whatnot. So yeah, this stuff here, like from there the Godacia goes other stuff, and I absolutely have no idea what I planted here. To be completely honest, I don't know. So I'm just waiting to see stuff to come up. I haven't weeded this at all in the last couple weeks because I don't know what's what. And I have a feeling that a lot of what I planted here is gone, but I do know these guys here, they are a plant, but I don't remember what they are. I don't know. These are also a new to me one. They have these pretty little purple flowers on them. But do you think I remember what they're called? Like, no, I don't. Because I lost the labels, because I'm not organized like that. I am disorganized. Oh, where's the buds? I wanted to show you the buds. Do I get distracted much, you guys? Yeah. Oh, here they are. Look! It's still be babies. So happy. More still be babies. Can't wait. So... yeah, I noticed when I went to my florist the other day, she had a stilby she had ordered in, and I was like, oh, hurry up, a stilby, come on. I was told I pronounced the stilby wrong, so sorry to the stilby pronouncing police too. I think this is Cosmo. Anyway, I'm a flower farmer that doesn't know flowers. Over here we have carns. These are all carnations and sunflowers that were volunteer, and I'm leaving those volunteer sunflowers because I learned I need them. And then I have some snapdragons and my Lysianthus. Some of it is okay, some of it is not okay. So yeah, these guys here, they're just teeny still. They're just teeny tiny. They rosetted. It's just whatever. It's whatever. Don't care. I don't care. I'm over it. I'm not really, but this is Ugh. I had netting over this one particularly, and this is all planted with ranunculus. And ranunculus, it's been so hot for ranunculus, it's just been going dormant. So I didn't have my shade cloth in, so I didn't weed this out, thinking that this would make a living mulch to protect it. So it's like a living shade cloth, and it's working. Because these are all volunteer sunflowers. And look, if I can take you in here, the ranunculus is actually, it's pretty happy. It's dry, but it's happy. It's not yellowing yet. So I'm gonna leave these up here because they're gonna be close to harvesting. I'm gonna do a bunch of mini sunflower harvests with it. And then, so this one is not gonna get a shade cloth put on it today. Those two beds there are also ranunculus, and they are going to get a shade cloth put on them to get them through this heat today and over the weekend. And so hopefully that we won't lose them because they haven't started to push buds yet. They're my next succession. I'm counting on this crop over here, and this one too. I'm counting on these ranunculus to perform as my flowers, because I'm not going to really have much sunflowers or any focal flowers. And I also need ranunculus to get into August because I have a special request to have ranunculus in August, and that seems like insane to me. But I have the shade cloth and the sprinkler system, so I'm gonna try to succession this to go in August. I live in a cold climate, so this might actually work as long as it doesn't get too hot during the day and I can protect them. So, but these are ranunculus here. They're doing okay. I think they're gonna start pushing some buds. The lilies are doing good. We're gonna have some soon. They're budding up as well, different varieties, and I'm letting them just grow through the netting. So over here I had sown some corn. I soaked it and sown it. I haven't watered it. I actually completely forgot about it. And well, it doesn't look like the chickens have been in here. It's actually cool. It's cool, so that means it's moist. Ooh, is that a corn? That's a corn. Ah, yes. Okay, I'm gonna put the hose on it today, I think. Oh, I know. These are marigolds. Those ones that I have inside that I showed you. That's them there. So I have a good succession of those going. They're a little worse for wear, but they got sunburnt a little bit and dried out. Again, my neglect. My tomatoes are actually doing fairly good. The chickens did get into a couple of them, but that's kind of, it is what it is. They're doing good. If you were with me for that video, look at them. They're not bad. We have snapdragons that really don't like living out here at all. I think these are larkspur. They're happier out here than they were out inside. And then from here all the way to the end is status. So we have a lot of status. And again, the tomatoes are doing fairly well here. So yeah, way back there to all the way up here, status. Lots and lots and lots and lots of status. I can't wait to see it all, just big massive status. And then our tomatoes, so some of them, like this guy, he's not happy, but he's happier. And like they're growing, they're starting to set some buds, which isn't the greatest, but these are the determinate varieties. They're supposed to be small, and they're just gonna go crazy here. It's gonna be insane how many tomatoes we'll have. The marigolds that my aunt, they stunted really bad, but the chickens, they come and scratched all of this up. And my dog did this. I caught her red-handed and I forgot to come back and fix it, but yeah, marigolds are doing good. I have garlic. This garlic is doing pretty well over here. Volunteer sunflowers. I've weeded this and it's just, yeah, I need to come in and give it another go of weeding. But when I get a day or two next week, it needs water. It's so dry for weeding. I prefer it when it's had a little bit of moisture and it doesn't disturb the plants too much. Don't mind the chatter from the guineas. Something is attacking their nest, and it's a raven, so they're making some racket because they're nesting. But over here I had planted my phlox. This is perennial phlox, and it's doing pretty good here. So I'm hoping I can maybe get something this year. I can see I had an animal. Chicken was digging in here. Just cover that lovely little thing back up. I've been actually using a lot of this as a cut flower. This is variegated, it's dogwood. So popular. At the bouquet bar I had, everybody grabbed this. They loved it so much, and I just took some samples into my florist, and I'm hoping she really enjoys it too. I can't wait to see if we get, actually, because these were planted last year, these are the kind you cut back, so they will grow new plants, and I can't wait to see what they produce this year. I really hope we get some beautiful blooms off of them. I'm kind of counting on it. This was sad. This was sad because I really wanted to have a really good year with tulips. And I'm gonna try to perennialize these. These are actually they're good for perennializing, especially in our area. So I'm really counting on having this come back next year to recoup some of my loss since our weather had us bloom out all at one time. And my blooms started to come in on Mother's Day, which was too late for selling for Mother's Day designs. So I had a very big loss, and I could see we had the chickens have been going crazy in here because there's been a bug infestation. I haven't even been trying to get rid of them. I'm just going to let them do their thing, because whatever bugs they have, if it affects next year's blooms, I don't want that to be a problem. These guys, look at this one's probably spent, but man, oh man, they're so pretty. Well, these guys are not all done yet. I'm gonna harvest some of these and put them in the fridge for next week, but these, I wish I would have ordered more of these. They are stunning, absolutely stunning. Everyone grabbed for these at my bouquet bar. They're beautiful. I really like them a lot, so kind of regretting it, but I think it looks pretty good. As long as I can keep on top of the weeds, we should be good. And one shade cloth up. I'm going to do the same with that row, and I'm just going to leave that and see if it'll work. Just using the sunflowers to shade them. So I think this will work good. So I got the other shade cloth up, and we dumped it in the car, and we went to a ball tournament over the weekend. And now let's see what it looks like when I got back. I only left for like 48 hours, and it's just going crazy in here. The yarrow with all the grasshoppers on it. Clean ass lace. Look at that. Wow, look at these. These are crazy. These are cocoa marigolds, status. That's kind of cool. Some baby's breath. Gaudacia. Hello, lovely. Oh, wow. Our first dianthus of the season. Oh, look at these ranunculus. Wow. They're so pretty. So gorgeous. Look at these guys. They just went crazy. Stock. These are Nigella. Isn't that gorgeous? Clara. This is gonna bloom. Look at that. It's a Roseanne brown. It's gonna bloom. It's gonna be gorgeous. Well, thank you for hanging out with me and touring my garden the beginning of June here. So I hope you do stick around, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.